Welcome to More Than Dentistry, where your hosts Evert and Waldo discuss life, dentistry, and everything in between with dentists around the world.
Hello and welcome to the More Than Dentistry podcast.
Welcome.
Hello all the people in TV land.
This episode, Evert is having a chat with Corne Smith, that heads up the bridge program, Jean van Lierop. They discuss all the different modules, what the aim of the bridge program is, and how she schedules her time to run an effective practice. Have a listen, and if you are starting private practice this year, I hope you are one of the lucky ones to attend the course. Lastly, if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe and leave us a review. Hope you enjoy this episode as much as I did.
Okay, cool. We've got Dr. Corne Smith with us tonight. It's Friday evening in South Africa. We're both enjoying a beer. I hope you've got a beer with you, Corne.
I've got a glass of red wine.
A glass of red wine. That's amazing. Thanks for joining us so much. I'm going to quickly read Corne's bio. Dr. Corne Smith graduated from the University of Pretoria. During her time as an associate dentist, she had an interest in aesthetic dentistry from the start and gained experience in CAD/CAM and minimally invasive reconstructive techniques since 2006. She did a postgraduate diploma in aesthetics, aesthetic dentistry through the University of Western Cape, and a 2-year diploma in orthodontics through McCann Postgraduate School of Dentistry. Dr. Corne also had an interest in business side of dentistry and has grown her own practice from a small startup to a successful multidisciplinary practice. She's an avid consumer of business books, podcasts, and all things entrepreneurial, and is constantly looking for ways to improve the manner in which we do business of dentistry. In 2017, Dr. Corne co-founded the Bridge program with a vision to empower and educate dentists. She believes that the Bridge program should be a safe and inclusive space where we can share and learn together. Being a passionate dentist, she had always been involved in several dental associations and now serves on the executive committee of the South African Academy of Aesthetic Dentistry. She's also a member of the ITI, South African Academy of Computerized Dentistry, South African Dental Association, and registered with the Health Professional Council. Corne, thanks so much after a busy week for joining us on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's lucky to have you. Corne is one of those dentists. When we first started the podcast, we thought she was one of the first guys or girls we had to interview, so it's so lucky to be with you. We've always looked up to you as a leader in the industry, and thanks so much for taking time to join us. I want to first start off with where you started. You're from the University of Pretoria. Where did you grow up?
I sort of grew up all over the place. We moved quite a bit. I was in 7 schools.
Did your dad work for the bank, or what did he do?
No, my dad was a minister. So the church sort of planted us all over the place.
Okay.
Yes. But most of my school career was spent in a small town called Ermelo. Not many people have ever been there yet.
And then how did you find your way to Cape Town?
Well, I first came to Cape Town in my final year of university. So we never came to Cape Town for holidays.
Okay.
But the moment I set foot in Cape Town, I realized that this is the place that I wanna live. This is where I wanna grow old one day. And I made a conscious decision of getting there. So that was always the end goal, to end up in Cape Town.
And so how long have you been in Cape Town now?
Since 2008.
Okay.
It's been a couple of years now, yeah. So I can almost call myself a Cape Townian.
No, I'm sure you can. And where did you? So you finished studying in at Stellum, Pretoria.
Yes.
And then you went. Did you do community service?
My community service year was probably one of the best years of my life. I did it at Shongwe, which is right on the border of Swaziland.
Okay, that's
it's on the Jeppes Reef border post. So that was basically a year of pulling teeth, working only 4 hours a day. spending time with the game farmers in the area. And we actually just had so much fun. We were right by the Kruger Gate. So we went and had sundowners at the Kruger Park. So it was really an awesome year. I didn't do much dentistry, but it was an amazing year in any other way.
Yeah, I think my community service year was the best. I actually got fired in community service. Not a lot of people know that, but I'm one of the few people who didn't finish it. That's another story. I think we're gonna talk quite a lot about the bridge program tonight. My first question about the bridge program, is it true the rumor is that you started it to get the University of Pretoria people up to scratch? Is that true or not?
You're scratching somewhere where we can get into a lot of trouble now, but you know what, the intention. What happened was that I looked for an associate dentist to employ in my own practice, and when I started interviewing the guys, I realized that there was a massive lack of knowledge of just basic stuff that we use in private practice, and it was a case of the guys were almost unemployable to an extent because they needed so much guidance right from the start that we saw the gap that we could help these guys to find their feet in private practice. So that's really where it came from.
And so just tell us about the history. You and John started together, or did you start it? How did it start?
The history was that we actually connected with Stephanie from Evert.
Okay.
And she was extremely passionate about equipping younger dentists as well. I think also because that was her journey. So the three of us really got talking, and I have to give credit to Evert because they were one of the first people to really put money into this dream. Okay. So together with John and Evert, we embarked on this journey, and we had no idea if it was going to work out. But we all had the passion, and we just built on that passion.
Okay. Yeah, so just tell us quickly, it consists out of 8 modules at the moment, and it's aimed at people coming from university and just finished the community service, maybe the first year or two working in private practice. And the bridge program is to bridge you from that to going into private practice and working full-time private. Yes. So just maybe talk us through the 8 modules and what are you going to learn if you join the bridge program?
Yes, so we divided into 6 clinical modules where we start from the basics. We really start with the bread and butter stuff. So module 1 is posterior composites. And in module 1, you can expect to learn about how to build a nice contact point, how to use materials effectively, what the principles of adhesive dentistry really is. Yeah. And so that's a module that Jean presents. And he's the master of composites. And then the second module, we build on that, and we teach the guys how to do anterior composites. And you were also a part of that module.
That was my second job I got fired from, was the bridge program.
Definitely not.
That's also a topic for a discussion for later.
So, well, I think starting from composites, we see that building on that, module 3 is the indirect ceramic. Okay. And for that module, we have Andy Epstein, and he teaches how to do minimally invasive ceramic restorations. Where I'm sure that we were all taught to do VMK crowns at university and to really cut down a lot of tooth structure. Yeah. Whereas now we try and preserve tooth structure as much as possible and really do overlays and onlays more than anything. So that's module 3. And module 4, we do anterior ceramics with Mark Bowes. Okay. So that's an introduction to what we can do in anterior ceramics. The intention of the bridge program is not really to learn dentistry or to teach them dentistry in 8 modules. That's impossible. That's the university's job. Yeah. but the intention is to show the guys what is possible in private practice.
And what's actually happening, because you walk in and you don't have a clue. You've learned a lot of stuff, but you don't know what's really actually happening.
Yes. And I find, from the past few years that we've run the program now, I think, the guys don't even know that they don't know.
Yeah, well, that's a big problem.
And I was in the same boat. I don't exclude myself from that. We qualify and we think that we've got all of the tools that we need to be a dentist, but unfortunately things have changed so much. And to keep up to date with what's really the best materials and the best techniques, unfortunately we're not exposed to that at university level.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's always changing. What you've learned in university 4 years ago is completely changed with new materials and new techniques and everything. I think I think that's the value of the bridge program that when I was involved there 2 years ago, found that you kind of build a bit of a camaraderie as well, and you meet some people that you can that can mentor you in the future. So it's not just about what you learn, but it's also about the connections you make while you do a program like this. Meeting someone like you, or meeting John, or meeting Andy. I mean, those are guys you can always pick up the phone and they're always happy to answer a question. So I think there's a lot of value in that people don't even know about.
Yeah, I know for sure. The feedback that we had from the delegates is, that it's really changed the way that they view their dental careers.
Yeah.
And the intention is to show the passion and to show that dentistry is one of the greatest professions out there. And, I get so frustrated when we talk to our colleagues, and I mean, I'm sure you had the same experience where everyone is just moaning and groaning and, about medical aid and about fees and about the political status of the country. But I truly believe that dentistry is an amazing profession where we can actually do clinical work and we are able to run a business at the same time. So we want to show the guys that dentistry can be exciting, it can be profitable, and that you can make a good living and have a full life being a dentist.
Yeah. You hit a nail on the head there with, I think there's like completely two camps. People that just put their head down and they kind of live in a bit of a bubble and get isolated and just do dentistry, and they can't wait to get home so they can open a bottle of wine and get back tomorrow and start drilling and filling again. And then there's the other side, guys like you and Mark, and I mean there's so many of them that's completely passionate about it and that would sit on a Friday evening and talk about dentistry and I honestly think it's actually a fun thing to be excited about. Dentistry is actually a lot of fun. You change people's lives. And I had a lady today we did a complete full upper rehab. I'm at the lab actually at the moment. They're busy milling and staining and glazing the grounds for me in PE. And I spoke to her. I did the temps about a month ago, and she was in temps for a month. And now today we did the finals. And she said this past month she smiled more than she's ever done before. And she's a 60-year-old lady. She said she's got so much confidence.
No,
and I mean, those kind of things, there's not a lot of jobs that offers you that kind of satisfaction. But if you're going to sit and do fillings and amalgams and press amalgams with your thumb down the whole day, you're not going to get that satisfaction. So you've got to step up and do the bigger cases and learn the bigger cases. You can't just start doing them without learning and having proper guidance.
Yes. No, for sure. And, that's been my journey as well. I mean, I think that's probably one of the biggest reasons why, we're so passionate about the Bridge program is because we didn't have that guidance. Yeah. So when I wanted to start my own practice and when I needed guidance just clinically, you were just sort of left to the world and you had to find your own way, like which courses do I do? What's the next step for me?
Yeah.
Do I build experience by working in a corporate structure like a medical aid type of setup, or do I jump into private practice immediately? All of those questions we all have, and I think we're so scared to ask them.
You're not going to get honest answers if you don't have a trusty relationship with someone that's been through the whole process.
That's right.
Yeah, I think I always talk about our study group, and I learned all of these stuff in our study group where we get together 4 times a year, and we've been doing it for 10 years. I mean, the amount you learn there is amazing. And
Absolutely.
and I'm always so passionate about mentorship and getting to know people, and that's exactly what the Bridge program is. You walk out there, you've got a bunch of friends, you've got a bunch of colleagues that you can pick up the phone and you can actually build a relationship forever. So I really think. Have you still got openings for this year's Bridge program, or you guys full?
Yes, we still have some openings. I think we've got 2 openings left for our Joburg course. So we're running it in Joburg and in Cape Town, and then there's about I think it's maybe 5 or 6 spots that's left in Cape Town as well. So we almost filled up, but there's a few spots left, and we want to fill them up as soon as possible, especially for Cape Town, because the Cape Town is around the corner. Cape Town, we're starting on the 28th and 29th of February, so that's a month away.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and cost-wise, is it a once-off payment, or do they pay you off over the year, or how does it work when you?
We've got 2 separate structures, so you can pay the full course. The full course is I'm actually talking under correction now, but I think the full course is at 11,000 rand. Or you can pay it over monthly installments. And so we want to make it easier for the guys, especially the guys who just qualified to cost should not be the deterring factor.
Yeah.
And it's we worked it out for 5 full days of lectures and hands-on. It's really it's a full course. So just touching on the modules again, the next modules that we're also doing, we've done that for the past 2 years, is we incorporating an endo module. So the endo module is an introduction to rotary endo, and oh my word, that was there we just had a blooper. So we focus on introduction to endo there, and then we're also incorporating implants. So the implant module, we connected with the Implant and Aesthetic Academy. So with Howard and those guys, Cordeline Schnettler and Jonathan Batoy is doing the implant lecture as well. Yeah, so we're excited about those 2 modules.
Your endo module?
At the moment, we had Piet van der Vyse doing our endo module. At the moment, we're talking to Casper. So it's a bit of an unconfirmed word, but it will be one of the industry leaders. Yes. So, and the endo lecture is really to get the guys comfortable around endo as well. So I think the feedback that we got from last year was that it was amazing. The guys stepped out of the lecture and they said they've never been excited about endo, but now they can't wait to dive into an endo and look for that MB2 canal.
Really?
So I think it's just to take away the fear of endo as well. So we're excited about those 2 modules. Yeah.
Okay, and those 2 are both new ones, or because they weren't there when
yes, they weren't there when you were involved. We started with them last year.
Okay.
So they have been around for that. We'll do that now for the second time. And then the last 2 modules are the ones that I'm probably most passionate about, and that's the module 7. We're spending a whole day just on patient communication, treatment planning, and how to actually work out the flow of looking at a case, discussing it with the patient, and how to do a quote, how to get the treatment done. So that's a whole day just on treatment planning. And then the last module is on the business side of dentistry. So that's also a full day just on practice management and basic business principles. So those 2 modules are a very nice way to end off the program. And that's the exciting stuff for me.
Yeah, that's what you're passionate about. Can I ask, why don't you guys start with those 2? Why do you bring them in at the end? Because it feels to me like you should start off.
Yes, that's a very good point, Evert. So in the past we did that. So I started off the bridge program the previous 2 years with an in-depth look at, what do you expect if you're an associate dentist? How does the structures work? Are you going to get paid commission? And, how does private practice rates work? But what we found was that the gap was so far for these guys to even comprehend that they could charge good money for their work, that we decided to do it at the end, because after you've done the 6 clinical modules and you see what dentistry, what the value of good dentistry is, then you don't feel bad charging money for it.
Okay.
So we actually turned it around for this year, for 2020, to end us off with those 2 modules and to prepare them in their journey. You know, that, like, what is the next step? What do you do? What courses do you do after this? Do you go and work for someone? And also the expectations. I think that, you know, I don't know about you, but I earned way too much money when I did my comp survey.
Yeah, I think it's actually it's a big problem, because people don't want to leave the government. Yes. They want to stay there and earn big money and do nothing.
Exactly. So, you know, so when I started working for someone directly after ComServe, I think I earned like 12,000 Rand a month or something, which was a massive gap from the community service salary. Yeah. And I think it's also just to show that, you know, when you qualify as a dentist, you want to focus on experience and not about the salary that you might be earning.
Exactly. That's what I always tell. If someone gives me advice, I always say to them, go work for free for the best dentist you can find, because you're going to make up that money in tenfold in the next couple of years when you actually start working for yourself. I think the experience you gain in the first 2 or 3 years or 4 years is way more important than the money you get paid. Yeah. And that's why I always get annoyed with people staying in the government for too long. Because unless you're really into public service and you want to serve the community, then you should do it, but then make a difference while you're doing it. Don't sit and wait for the hours to go past so you can go home at 4. Actually make a difference and try and change the system. But if you're just there for the salary, I mean, that's just ridiculous. So I always say get out as soon as possible.
Yeah, and I think, you know, we have to respect the fact that we all have different priorities in life. So just the fact that you and I are super passionate about dentistry, not everyone will be. So I think it's important to empower someone to make those decisions with all the right information. So if it's important for you to just have a good life and to be able to go on holiday every now and then and surf and whatever is important to you, then you have to structure your life and plan to get to that goal.
Exactly.
You can't just wait for things to fall into your lap. And it's also about just planning every single day. I mean, are you going to be a dentist that's just going to treat everyone and everything walking in your door? Or are you going to make a point of doing the things that you're passionate about and really making a difference in people's lives?
Yeah, I think it's so important to figure out what you like and what you want to do, and then just do that. Don't do the things that makes you unhappy. If you don't want to do the endos, just send it to Piet. For some reason, he's super passionate about it, and he'll do the endo. So if you don't like doing it or looking for that MB2 canal, just send it away. You don't have to do everything. I think everyone thinks you have to treat every single person and do everything. The best decision I've ever made in my life was about 4 or 5 years. The second best decision after marrying my wife was that I'm not going to do dentures.
Well done.
It's a quick comeback.
Yes.
I'm not going to do dentures, and I'm not going to treat any kids. And I promise you, it's changed dentistry for me forever. And I'm not I'm not apologetic about it. When a kid comes in or for some reason got through the system, and I just apologize and say, listen, I'm really sorry, I'm not going to treat the kid. We've got a lady in our practice who does kids, and I'll do a checkup and I'll send her straight there. And then if you do it the right way, no one gets mad at you. And it's really changed dentistry for me. Just putting up some boundaries. There's always that 80-20 rule that you're going to make 80% of your money out of 20% of the work you do. And that 20% needs to be the part you're passionate about. And then figure out what the 20% is and learn as much as you can and do that very well. And then refer the other 80% away to colleagues or friends that's actually passionate about that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I fully agree with what you're saying. And I mean, just looking back now, you know, those are all choices that you make. It's not something that just automatically happens. No one's going to tell you that you shouldn't be doing dentures.
Exactly.
You have to make that choice. And that's, I feel so fortunate to be working in the practice that we have at the moment, because we have the ability to just do the work we like doing. So we've really set it up in a way that everyone has their niche and their passion, and no one is just doing stuff for the sake of filling up a book.
Just being busy and pushing up your turnover.
Yes, exactly. And I think that's also something that I'm very passionate about, is to, and I want to take my hat off for you guys with your podcast. The fact that you call it more than dentistry, and it's so important that we realize that we are human beings and that we need to take care of ourselves first.
Yeah. Definitely.
So for me, like you say, that one of the best decisions that you made was not doing dentist. For me, one of the best decisions I made was to say that I've got a set day that I do my big cases, and I keep that slot open. That's my Thursday mornings, and whatever happens, they can't fill that up with normal checkups or with anything else. And, that made a massive difference in how I was able to convert treatment plans.
So let's say you don't fill that up. What do you do on that day? Let's say you don't have a big case for that day. What do you do on a Thursday morning? Do you not work, or do you fill it up the day before? Or what do you do?
Sometimes there would be like little bits and bobs that you can then squeeze in there, because if your schedule's full, you'll always find something that you can pull in there. But to be quite honest, for me, it's really I just try and run the business those days. So I try and to answer emails, to work on treatment plans, to work on admin, to get time to do those things as well. So if those days don't fill up, it's also a bit of a blessing sometimes, because we never have time to do those things either. So
that's the thing. We never make time to run the business, and that's I've burned my fingers so many times with that. It's like at the moment I've got a crisis with SARS about not running the business and fixing teeth the whole time. And there's a book called The E-Myth, The Entrepreneurial Myth, and in the book you've read that obviously.
For sure, yes.
And there he basically says you must wear the hat of being a business owner and not just being the guy doing the work, being I can't remember the word he used, but we tend to be being busy doing the work, but we never run the business, and we never make time to run the business, because after a full day of dentistry, you're so tired, you don't want to do the business side. So do you, except for the Thursday mornings, do you have other times where you work on your business, or?
Yeah, I have to be honest, it doesn't always work out that way, but my Wednesdays should be a complete open day. Okay. So I don't work on a Wednesday clinically. So I should work on the business. That's the intention, on a Wednesday. At the moment, I've been traveling so much. I'm guilty of filling up some of my Wednesdays with patients. But so clinically, I'm only available 3.5 days a week. And that's made such a big difference to my life. I feel like a more balanced human being being able to do that. But that book that you're talking about, that's probably one of my favorite. It's one of the books that's meant the most to me in my dental career and as a business owner, because what Michael E. Gerber says is that when we think that we provide a service, and we're good at what we do. So if you're a good dentist, or if you're a good plumber, or if you're a good electrician, you expect people to just come to you, and you expect to be successful. But that is not the reality. And that's what's called the E-myth. It's the entrepreneurial myth.
Yeah.
We have to still find a way to make the business successful.
Yeah.
And if we can have a successful business, we can do the dentistry we love doing.
But just on that topic,
and we can,
finding the business. I think marketing is kind of thing. Do you guys talk about marketing on the Breach program?
Yes. I'm quite passionate about the marketing side. Yeah. So I covered quite a big part of that in the Breach program, in the business day. Okay. And I mean, you're excellent with that. I follow you on Instagram. You're great with your marketing thing. But yes, how will people know about you these days?
Exactly.
What do we do? We Google. I mean, we Google everything, and even if you get a referral from a friend, you still go and Google
And
still do
people
all
are
of
people
this,
are visual. That's why Instagram is probably the best thing that's ever happened to dentistry, because people want to see stuff and they want to see beautiful
For
things.
sure.
So looking at a set of
Yes.
beautiful teeth on a picture, and that's my next question to you: is do you guys do photography in the bridge program? I think photography is the first thing every guy should learn, because if you can't
Yes,
take good
I
photos, no
agree
one will
with
ever
you.
know how good your work is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We focus quite a bit on photography in our treatment planning module.
Okay.
We don't do a full photography course because that's a course on its own.
Yeah.
But what I think what's accessible to someone starting out in private practice is an intraoral camera.
Yeah.
So let's take it back to what we can do when we disqualify. We can take a picture of a tooth.
Yeah.
So, the flow that I use when I diagnose is every single patient lies down and we've got a TV on the roof, and I take them on a tour of their mouth with my intraoral camera.
Yeah.
And, in the beginning, when you start showing a patient, that's a leaking margin. That is an amalgam filling with a leaking margin.
Yeah.
By the end of the tour, they tell me about the leaking margin.
Mm.
So it's such an amazing tool. So you're right. We're all visual and we want to see what we are paying for. Now, it takes out that whole anxiety of the dentist told me I needed a filling, but I don't have pain. So why am I doing the filling? But
Exactly.
the moment you see that broken down filling, you don't even have to convince someone to do the filling.
Yeah. Yeah. And for aesthetic work as well, if you put that photo up of their teeth, I always put it up and I don't even say a word. I just start doing something else. And they ask me, listen, what the hell are we going to do about these yellow teeth? So photography I think is one of the, and you don't have to have a full day course of photography. Just have a basic camera that works well. Have a flash setup that works well and know when to use what. I mean, it's so easy.
Yes, it is so easy.
And it amazes me that people just don't do it.
Phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little secret I use my phone. The issue with the phone is the flash is quite hectic.
Yes,
so I take a piece of just paper, like normal toilet paper or whatever, and I put it over the flash and then I take a photo. So it's a bit of a diffuser if I don't have my camera with me. And that just breaks the light down enough so you can have a better looking photo.
For sure. No, that's a great tip.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't want to be salesmen. We don't want to fall into that trap of sounding like you're selling something.
But we are salesmen. That's all we do is we're selling big treatment plans. We're selling 200 to 300 grand treatment plans. And if you're not a good salesman, you're gonna be doing amalgam fillings all the time.
That's right, but you don't want to sound like a salesman. You want the treatment to sell itself.
But the treatment is not going to sell itself, in my opinion. You need to present the treatment and tell people why they need the treatment. They're going to spend that money either on fixing their teeth, which is a good thing. It's not a bad thing having great teeth that's healthy. So we're selling a good product. We're not selling Coke or cigarettes or alcohol. So we're selling a good product, but we're still scared of being salesmen. It blows my mind why we're scared. I think one of the things you can tell me if I'm wrong. People are scared to do marketing because they think other people are going to think they're not good dentists. Why do they market? Or they're not busy enough. And I think that's the biggest reason I didn't do any marketing for a long time was I was like, but I am busy. Why do I have to do marketing? But I don't want to be busy doing dentures and kids. I want to do aesthetic work. So I need to market for aesthetic work. And it's just other people don't see it that way. They say if you market, you're not a good dentist. But I think that is a bit old school. And
that's a complete myth. I mean, we live in it's a totally different world that we live in at the moment. So I'm not scared of doing marketing. I think maybe sometimes we can be a little bit unpopular amongst our peers if we do marketing, and but that's just the nature of the business.
Yeah.
So I completely agree with you. We have to market ourselves. If we don't show what's possible, how will people know?
Yeah.
It's just a fact. We are able to make the purchase a less grudge purchase.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I find. The way that we approach these treatment plans and the way that we chat to people and connect with people, that's how you convert a treatment plan. It's not about being able to do a good crown. That's not what you need to know. That's the first step. But your patients will never know how good your margin is unless you show them.
And they actually don't care how good the margin is.
They don't care. You're right. You know, that is the sad thing about dentistry is always a grudge purchase. No one wants to spend money on their teeth.
Unless you do a lot of aesthetic stuff, then people tend to want to get it done. It's not that much of a grudge purchase. But if you go in and you say you've got 10 cavities and we need to fill them, or we've got perio, we're going to clean your teeth and we're going to make you look worse and we're going to hurt you and we're going to charge you 20,000 Rand, then it's a complete grudge purchase. And then that's where photography and nice visual aids comes in, where you have to educate the patient on why it's so important to make that.
Yes, absolutely. It's the whole experience. It's about taking things from the start. You know, these wear cases. I've done a couple of wear cases the past while where it's really young patients.
Yeah.
And now you have to sort of break your brain of how you're going to preserve this tooth structure and prevent this guy from just destroying his teeth. And so often, and that's why I think it's a grudge purchase, because people are not aware of what's happening on their back molars.
Yeah.
They don't care about the fact that their back molars have been grinded down, but then they start seeing the chipping in the front teeth, and they just want you to fix the front teeth. But you can't ignore the back teeth that has been the major cause of the front teeth chipping.
Yeah.
And so it's about communication at the end of the day, and meeting people where they are, not just imposing treatment on people that we think they need, but to meet them where they're able to make an informed decision.
And I think that's the cool thing about where we are in dentistry at the moment. There's so many cool materials and stuff that, like a wear case on a young person, you don't have to charge them a fortune and crown everything. With composites, you can actually give them and buy them a lot of time until they're ready to get the treatment they need. And that's what I always tell people is, I don't like doing any crowns almost ever. I like doing composite, and we can treat you for a long time. It's not going to be a magic treatment. We're gonna put you in composites and you're gonna wear them down and break them. And then we're gonna fix them for the next 10 years, and maybe then we'll crown your teeth. But we're all going to live until we're 100 years old. If we start crowning teeth at 22, it's going to be a long time for a crown to last until you're 100.
Yeah. No, I'm so with you there. I mean, I think when we start out as dentists, we're so ignorant and we think everything we do is going to last. And that's the thing about being in private practice or in the same practice for 10 years. You start seeing your own failures.
Yeah.
And now my whole approach to dentistry for the past 4 or 5 years has completely changed. I want to really do as little as possible.
Yeah.
Because whatever we do will have to be replaced.
Exactly.
And don't promise people that this is a lifelong thing and this is going to last them as long as their gold overlay or their VMK crown has lasted them the past 50 years.
Yeah.
Things. So I'm so with you, doing composites and just buying time. We're not doing any harm by doing that.
Exactly. We live in Jeffreys Bay, where we see all the retired people, and the amounts of failing prosthetic work we have to deal with every day is just ridiculous. And then the guy comes to you when everything is gone. So you've got 10 crowns that all need to be replaced. You've got root caries underneath all of them. They can't afford the treatment, and it's just. If we can just keep people's teeth without drilling all the enamel away for 10 or 20 years longer, you know what's the issue? People don't charge enough for the composite work, so they want to tend to move away to indirect work where they can charge better fees. And the medical aids pay you nothing for a composite, but they charge good money for a crown. So then the guy says, let's just rather do a crown.
For sure.
I spent the day in the lab today just seeing how they work, and the amount of crowns, anterior crowns I see coming in on young patients, just ridiculous. I mean, I can't see why you want to crown 2 centrals of a 22-year-old ever. I mean, I would stick on composite there for as long as possible.
Yeah, but don't you think, Evert, that the biggest fail comes in the fact that we don't value our own time? So, I mean, I don't know how your career began, but I started working in a Medicross. That's how I worked in a Medicross for 3 months, and there's nothing wrong with working at a Medicross and getting experience. But what was really soul destroying for me when I was there is that I couldn't spend enough time doing good and proper diagnosis in the first place because the medical aid doesn't pay enough for that. And then you don't have enough time to do a good filling. So that was a conscious decision for me, is to never let time and medical aid dictate the treatment that I present to people. And that's where photography comes in. If you don't have enough time to do a complete checkup with all following your protocol, you won't have time to take photos. You won't have time to discuss the treatment with the patient in a relaxed atmosphere that you're not pressured all the time with 50 people waiting for you. So and you can't do that if you don't charge enough.
Yeah, that's why the bridge program is so important. So you can learn the right things on an early age, because you get into a habit of doing the wrong work and being like pushed for time, doing fillings just to get your turnover up. It's ridiculous. I've made all these mistakes a few times. Now when I do a filling, like let's say I spoke to a friend the other day, and he does a lot of aesthetic, like Botox and fillers and stuff. And he said he charges, let's say he charges a couple of $1,000 to do someone's lips. And then he said, but he feels bad charging a patient $1,500 for filling. I was like, but how can you feel bad doing that? You do someone's lips for $4,000. She's going to come back in 3 months' time and redo it again, or 6 months, or whatever the time is. But the filling you do for $1,500 is supposed to last 10 years or her whole life. And she eats on that thing 5 times a day.
I know.
It's just we don't realize what we're doing to people. That thing you should charge $10,000 for and still not feel bad about it, because it's supposed to last at least 10 years if you do it properly.
Yes, but and I completely agree with you, and that's like things like using rubber dam and really using isolation and knowing your materials and understanding when to do what. That comes with experience. Yeah. So if you don't expose yourself to the right courses and the right education, you won't make the right decisions, because we don't walk out of university knowing these things.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I didn't work with rubber dam starting out. That was something that I started using a while after I qualified, and for me now, not using rubber dam is I can't even imagine working without rubber dam at the moment, because my fillings are so much better. I work so much more comfortably.
You've got time. You don't have to rush. You can take good photos because nothing's getting wet. The tongue's on the way. I don't know why people are so against rubber dams though, because it's really, once you start using them, it's the nicest thing ever, and you make money out of it.
Yeah, you can actually charge for it. Yeah. So why not use it? And the moment you know how to use it, it's so quickly to apply or to put on a rubber dam. It really becomes second nature.
Yeah, I think using rubber dam and using magnification and illumination is the two. If you don't do those two things, you're doing something wrong, in my opinion. You should be should be standard.
For sure. That should be standard, 100%.
So if you come out of university or community service and you're going to start this year off and you can't afford the bridge program, just do two things: buy some loops. You can buy them for cheap, and buy rubber dams. If you're not going to join the bridge program, if you're going to join the bridge program, you're going to learn to use rubber dam properly. And are you guys using loops? You're giving loops to the delegates?
Yeah, so that's the cool thing about the bridge program is we have Zoomax loops and we've got 10 microscopes and 10 sets of loops.
Okay.
So every delegate does the hands-on sessions either with a microscope or with a set of loops.
Okay, that's amazing.
So we expose them to magnification right from the start, and you can't treat what you can't see. So,
yes, and it's such a game changer.
Those things are absolutely. And what did you say? I think you said you bought your loops for like how much on Amazon or something?
Yeah, you can buy loops. I've upgraded to Zeiss loops recently, and it makes a difference. But I mean, you can buy loops for like 700 Rand or 750 on eBay. So there's literally no excuse not to have loops. I mean, you can. It's so cheap.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And they make a bit. We used them, and I compared it to the Heine loops, and you could almost not see the difference between the two. It's really good enough. The light's good. So go on eBay, you buy some loops for 750 Rand with a light, I mean, if you compare that to Zoomax, which will probably go for about 25, I think. And if you look at Zeiss, it'll cost you about 55. So if you look at those things, they're bloody expensive. But if you go for the cheap things, use that for a year or 4 and then get some other loops. I mean, it's really worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. Get some experience. And then when you have the capital, you make that investment in yourself, for sure.
Okay, now we've gone past our time. Is there anything else you want to say to the young people listening to the podcast, except for join the Bridge program? We need to air this thing quickly so you guys can fill up those last 5 spots in Cape Town and the last 2 in Joburg. And what do they do? Do they go to www.bridgeprogram.co.za and join there, or how do they connect with you?
Yes, so they can find us on Facebook or Instagram, and they can always also find us on the internet. The website is bridgeprogram.sa.co.za. Yes, and just as a closer, maybe our intention is to be inclusive. We never want to make anyone feel stupid, or there's no stupid questions. We want to create a community where everyone can see the value of dentistry, and we want to empower dentists, young dentists, to be the next generation going forward. I want my kids one day to be able to go to a good dentist. So that is our intention, and we want to follow this passion of creating good dentists in South Africa. I'm so passionate about this country. Doesn't matter what's going on. We are here, so we'll switch off the lights. But then we want to walk this road with a couple of good dentists with us.
And I do think we've got great dentists in South Africa. I mean, even there's a lot of good young dentists, and you don't have to be experienced and old to be good. You can be good from the first year or 2 when you're out of university. I think in South Africa, we've always got this mentality where we're scared to speak out and scared to do amazing things. You look at people from abroad, America, there's a dentist doing amazing things when they're 26, 27. So you can be young and you can actually change the world by what you do. But you need good mentorship, and you need to learn from the best. So the Bridge program is an amazing place for you to connect with those guys.
Thanks so much, Evert. I really appreciate you giving us the time. You do know that I was very jealous of you starting this podcast. So well done for doing this, and it's an honor to
we've gone off to a slow start, I think, because we've always been busy, but we need to work on it a little bit. I think this year we'll work on our podcast a little bit. We'll start marketing a little bit more, and hopefully we'll get more listeners. We've got a few already, but hopefully we'll get more, and we'll get some traction going. I think going to the future, podcast is going to be an important tool of conveying information. Sure. So I think we should stick it out, and good luck for the Bridge program. I'll phone you back after the podcast to ask you why you fired me.
Cool.
You must have a lucky evening, and enjoy the weekend in Cape Town.
Thanks, Evert. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Good. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.